It is now my privilege to introduce Provost Joe Helble. Joe Helble became Dartmouth Provost last fall after serving as Dean of the Thayer School of Engineering for 13 years. Now, as the college's Chief Academic Officer, Provost Helble is responsible for strategic planning and programs across campus to ensure Dartmouth's continued excellence. As Provost, he's also responsible for supporting and advancing teaching and scholarship in the arts and sciences, as well as at each of Dartmouth's professional schools. Prior to his tenure at Thayer, he served as chair of the Chemical Engineering Department at the University of Connecticut and as a Roger Revelle Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, addressing technology and environmental policy issues in the U.S. Senate. He has led research in the areas of air pollution, carbon dioxide capture, aerosol science, nanoscale material production. In 2014, along with 3 Thayer faculty members, he was the recipient of the National Academy of Engineering's highest pedagogical honor, the Bernard M. Gordon Prize for Innovation in Engineering Technology Education. Please join me in welcoming Provost Helble.
Thank you, Dean Ray, and good morning. Let me simply say, first and foremost, that for me, it's great to be here in this setting with all of you, and particularly our Thayer students once more. As Dean Ray mentioned, I had the privilege of being the Dean of Thayer for more than 13 years, and this ceremony, this day, was always a high point, a chance to gather with the Thayer community, celebrating the accomplishments of engineers and of engineering. Now, my role at Dartmouth has changed, and as I have often said over these past few months, looking around across the Hanover Green, I love all of the campus equally. But still, returning here to be with you today is in many ways, for me, like returning home. And it's returning not just to the world of science and technology, but returning to the community that truly believes that science and technology are, at their core, tools to improve the human condition, tools to change the world. And you, our students, and I mean all of you, regardless of your degree program, have learned that this starts not with the technology first, but with the community first, the people first. You're human-centered designers, you are human-centered engineers. But it's no surprise to hear me say to you that you're leaving this campus and entering the working world in what are, you might say, challenging and polarized times. Whether it's driven by social media, global mistrust, or the politics of the day, you're in an era where it's become increasingly easy to divide the world into 2 camps, us and them. Us means like us. Them means different. Often visibly different, racially different, geographically different, culturally different. Let me ask you to think about that for a moment and think about your shared experiences here at Dartmouth and at Thayer. What you've engaged in is not difference, but a shared struggle with problem sets, project deadlines, research papers, consulting cases that cross every imaginable boundary. In fact, if you look around you, you will realize you represent the world at its finest. You're part of a graduating class of engineers representing 27 countries, from Armenia to China to Ecuador, Finland to Nigeria, Pakistan to Spain, Swaziland to Zimbabwe, more than 30% of you born outside the United States. And as I have said before, your faculty are no different. 40% of your faculty, the Thayer engineering faculty, come originally from somewhere else in the world, born outside the United States. Now, for a project earlier this year, I worked with a colleague to look at the resumes of engineering faculty at some dozen universities, including all of the Ivy League. This is what a provost does for fun. And what I learned is that the rest of the Ivy League is absolutely no different. For our peer engineering schools, the percentage of engineering faculty born outside the United States ranges from 33% to nearly 60%, a range that's also reflected on the engineering faculties of many major public research universities across this country. So to all of you, our students, educated here at Dartmouth in the Ivy League, perhaps the world's most recognizable grouping of intellectual achievement, I ask, what does this mean? What does it mean to be part of an American university? To me, it means to be surrounded by the world's best and brightest, to embark on a shared journey of discovery and innovation. It means to be part of a global student community, you, who came together to study here, to learn from a globally diverse faculty here, and to become part of a globally diverse profession. And so I ask you, as you head off into the next phase of your lives and you're inevitably at some point confronted by questions of us versus them, before you pass judgment, to pause, even if for the tiniest of seconds, and reflect on your Dartmouth education and what was and is possible when you collectively and collaboratively approach a problem and define a solution. That is the greatest lesson that we as engineering faculty and this institution as Dartmouth can leave with you. On behalf of Dartmouth, congratulations. You have made all of us from this entire campus proud.